So I'm going to show you around the yard and some of the projects I've been working on. I suppose first off, this is Bailey. She pulled her leg. Whoa! This is Bailey. She pulled her leg. And this is Buddy. And just showed up one day, like the cats. You'll see the cats. Had Bailey for a couple years. Oh yeah, Buddy. She's a good dog. She's kind of shy. She's sweet. Anyway, she pulled her leg, so she's not getting around very good. But I think she's fine other than that. Let's see. This is a bunch of Texas ebony I've started this year. Whoa, Buddy. Yeah. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. This is goji berries. You can't see them. Dragon fruit. Aloe vera. Got orange honeysuckle and turmeric and lemongrass. And there's Comet. Come here, buddy. Come here. Comet. Whoa! They're still getting the hang of each other. Leave her alone. Up here is Rocket. Rocket. How are you doing, Rocket? Let's see, Rocket's came a year before Bailey. I guess that makes her 3 years about. And Comet showed up earlier this past year. Let's see. Here, this goji berries has some berries on it. This goji berry. Let's see, there's this, I think it's called cheese mist or something. I don't know. I got this in a plant trade, and here's some succulents. I don't know. This too. All this came from plant trades. This is the blue mist that I've started. You can just now see some of the leaves developing. It's gonna make it, as long as Buddy over here doesn't ruin anything. So I'll have 2 more plants. Let's see, we've got figs. This is a turkey brown fig, and these 3 are Olympian figs. I've only ever had one kind of fig, and I'm not sure what it was because it was just a fig I found. But sometime 2 years ago, I planted a fig tree, and I just started a bunch of figs. See, this is some rosemary I'm starting. Got a few different kinds of palm trees. I haven't had much success transplanting them, but I thought I'd try. See, those right here, this is some, hey buddy. Come on. So right here's some grapefruit. You've grown, I don't know, this tree might be like 20 years old or so. Anyway, we've got like 8-10 citrus trees in our yard. And the root stock for all of them it's a Seville sour bitter orange, and it grows really slow. It's also very disease resistant, I guess, is the reason why it's selected to be the root stock instead of growing the tree from the seed. I don't know. So I tried to start some myself. I'll show you what it looks like. You can tell when it starts to go. People say it goes wild, but it's really just returning to what the root stock is. This is kind of a mess. It's got, let's see, This used to be a key lime tree, but it has since been taken over by there's like a China berry tree and some mulberry trees that have sprung up right down here at the base. And I think a frost killed off the end of the key limes, and now all that grows is the sour orange, which is what these are, the Seville sour orange. And the thing is, I'm not seeing it right now, but the rootstock of the Seville sour orange actually has thorns on it. Especially when it's small. As it gets bigger, I guess the thorns kind of go away, they become less prominent. But when it's small, yeah, here, you can kind of see some. When it's small, and the thorns can be pretty big too. These are small. There, here we go. Yeah. These are some big ass thorns. You don't want, one of the reasons why you don't really want the rootstock to grow. And the other is that the fruit really isn't that great. The fruit of the sour orange can be used for marinades. In fact, that's a Cuban thing, as I'm told. It's like mojo is primarily, it's made with sour orange. Anyway, you could use it for marinades. It's kind of sour, it's kind of bitter. It's not that great for other things. But it's pretty good in marinades though, in marinating pork. I know that. I've made a Cuban pork before. I had a friend in college who's Cuban, and he taught me how. It's pretty good stuff. This is the valley lemon tree. It's got I think they were Meyer lemons or valley lemons. They're really, really good lemons. I think this tree got infected, and it was producing lemons that were too large, but I think that infection has gone away. It happened a few years and hasn't really happened lately, but the tree doesn't hold fruit like it used to. It still has a lot of fruit though. Really good lemons. And this is a key lime I planted this past year to replace the key lime that we lost. It's gonna be probably a couple. I think there was fruit on it this year, like one key lime. It might be next year we get a few more. It's gonna be a few years before it's very productive, but that's okay. We really don't use them that much, but it's so great to have some. You can just go out of your house and go pick a few for whatever you need. It's pretty great. And right next to it is the Hong Kong orchid. We've had this for quite some time too. It's kind of a mess. She's got pink flowers, pretty pink flowers. It's really nice, but oh crap. Right now, it's not doing much. From here you can see the chickens. We got how many chickens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably 12 hens, 2 roosters. Let's see. This guy right here, he doesn't have a name, but he's like the 5th generation rooster that we've bred on here. His great-great-grandfather was a store-bought rooster, and then this guy, he's a Sussex rooster. He's also pretty nice, but we bought him at the store when they were still chicks. You can keep this many chickens together, and the roosters, as long as there's so many hens, the roosters won't fight, and they don't really fight too much. But sometimes they squabble. Oh, buddy. Anyway, that's kind of the place we put the little chicks when they're young, and maybe a mama hen when they go broody to hatch the chicks. It just depends. See that white chicken is probably the oldest hen in the hole in the yard. She's probably the oldest and the toughest of the bunch. Right there. All the other white chickens were eaten. Somehow she managed to make it. Hawks and stuff. We didn't used to have this sort of fenced in area, and we have some hawks, different birds of prey, and just we'd let them out and they'd just get taken. So this one of the lucky ones. We haven't really lost that many chickens to other predatory animals, but we've lost a few, like maybe, I don't know, 10 or so out of probably 40 or 50 chickens that we've ever had. That sounds like a lot. That's too much, but it's something like that. I mean, they eventually, buddy, hey, they go one way or another. Some of them get too old, you know. Some of them just have to go because they've stopped laying eggs. So this is a Black Mission fig tree. I went crazy and I started buying a bunch of fig trees because it takes, you know, several years for them to produce fruit. So I think I've got, what, 6 or 7 different kinds of fig trees. This one is a Nero Caesar fig tree. I'm really looking forward to trying them and seeing what the difference is, but it's going to be a little while. And this is what is this? This is a cherry Barbados. It's like a tropical fruit of some kind. It has really high vitamin C content, is what I read and it grows in the Caribbean, I guess, on the Caribbean islands. I don't know which ones. Jamaica, Haiti, I don't know. But it produces, the green fruit have so much vitamin C that it's picked and manufactured for, like, and vitamin C pills. That's what I read. It's one of the few fruits that lose vitamin C when it ripens, I think, is also something I read. It seemed interesting, just something that grows here and that can grow here in this sort of hot tropical region that might be good, has some use. So that's why I picked it. Here is the blackberry patch. It's not doing so great, but it's going. I hope to get more next year than I did this year. Need to do some weeding. Cut the grass back. So behind me, I got some blueberry bushes. And let's see, a pineapple. And here you go, Bailey. Got my dogs. Another blueberry bush right here. And grape trees or grapevines. I just pruned them back. It's I got one grape this year. I wasn't supposed to get any. Next year I think I'll have a pretty good harvest. We're gonna find out. We've tried to grow grapes here in the past and it didn't really work out. And that was a really long time ago when I was just a kid. But I think that they can grow here, and I'm experimenting. I'm gonna try to get some to grow. There is a winery, a few different wineries. Texas is trying to become known for its wine, and especially around the hill country. And not really South Texas, but there are a few that have started, that have not just started, but have been around. And so I know that we can grow grapes here. I just don't know how. And I'm finding out. My dad has done gardening for many years. When I was a little kid, he did gardening when I lived in Utah, and then we tried to do some gardening when we first moved here, and it just didn't really work out, and he was busy. I mean, I can still remember when when I was a kid around here. But in the last 10 years or so, he's started doing gardening, and I've been helping out. I know how to do some stuff. This year, I kind of took over part of the garden. And so, let me show you. These are your Japanese sweet potatoes that I found online. They came all this whole bed, pretty much until you get to the other one, from this barrel right here. It came. I bought a couple fig trees and a pomegranate tree, and to get like free shipping, I needed something else, so I got this Japanese sweet potato because they're interesting. I've seen them before, like red. I think that they're just like any sweet potato. I think that they might have a different taste. I'm not sure, but they have like a white or yellow flesh instead of an orange one. So it just seemed interesting. And I know we have a pretty good environment for sweet potatoes. Anyway, it came with just like a little leaf on it. I thought it was gonna die, and now it's this gigantic mess. Still no sweet potatoes though. Oh well. Here I got garlic chives, buddy. Lots of garlic chives. I got this also in a plant trade. This is Mexican oregano. You can see these leaves are really thick. It's kind of interesting. And it's as soon as you rub it, it smells like oregano. Hey, buddy. So in this bed, I'm growing. Let's see. This row is turnips. This row is rutabagas. This row is beets. They're kind of slow. You can see the red right there. They're starting off slow, but they'll eventually grow pretty big. And this is just like a mess of cabbages and broccoli that I just sort of dropped. And there's some radishes interspersed in here. It's kind of a mess. It'll make more. Eventually, there'll be a little bit more organization. Over here, I got bok choy, or Chinese cabbages, 2 rows, and then 2 rows of Chinese broccoli, which is, I think, close to broccoli rabe. Very similar. You eat the thing about Chinese broccoli is you eat it for the stems and the leaves more so than the flower buds, and that's, I mean, it's it's good. I like it. I'm trying to grow it. Find out. This bed right next to the sweet potatoes is all radishes. Here, you can see some. They grow pretty fast. I think these are less than a month old. So they're growing kind of weird, some of them. I've harvested a few. It won't be long before I need to pick them all. We're here is a new experiment. I've looked for this herb for a long time, ever since I had a dish. It's a Korean dish, and it's called, in Japanese it's shiso. I think in Korean it's perilla. Anyway, it has like a particular flavor that just nothing else really has, and so I'm growing it for that reason. It's growing pretty good. I think this is Vietnamese perilla. I planted some Korean variety too. It didn't really do very well. I might try that again. This bed is potatoes, just regular potatoes, or Yukon Gold potatoes. And that's what these are. They're just started a little bit ahead of time, a little bit earlier. These are daikon radishes, the big white radish. And I was trying to grow spinach in with the daikon radishes, but spinach, it's too hot here. It's just too hot. I try it again. This would be the 3rd time I plant. We got bananas right here. quite a few heavy. This is probably like 40 pounds, 50 pounds of bananas right here. There's 2 more trees. My dad just planted bananas one day and now we got them. This is pineapple. This is year 2 on this pineapple, and there's another one just like it. So it shouldn't be too long before you've picked our first pineapples. Maybe another 6 months. So here are my other figs. Let's see. This one is like a Violetta Bordeaux. This one is the original Olympian fig that I had a weed whacker problems with and ended up cutting off what I rooted in the pots. So it's doing okay. It's just gonna set it back a while. And this is a turkey brown. First fruits. Can't wait to try it. I don't know how long it's gonna be, another month maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited for that. And then this is another turkey brown fig. This is the oval that kind of sits in front of our house, and it needed landscaping. So for 2 years I've been working on it. It doesn't look like much. I planted lemongrass all around the outside to kind of keep the regular grass out, and anytime I mow, the mower hits the lemongrass and it just kind of smells nice. Inside I'm trying to grow a few different flowers, mostly butterfly plants. So it's hard to see. There's a few dill that I've got started. This yellow bed stuff is called bee balm, but I've got dill. Dill attracts like big blue swallowtail butterflies. They're really nice, and tiger butterflies too, I think. They're really nice to look at. And then this is Porter's weed. There's a butterfly, and it puts out these blue flowers up here at the top on these stems, and there's not many blooming right now. It's kind of in between blooms. There's more on that plant. I don't know if you can see it, but the butterflies really like this stuff. This is milkweed, which I've had a terrible time getting started, but I finally found a plant. This is what the monarch butterflies like to eat. They're caterpillars, and obviously they like nectar too. It's called milkweed because if you pull it, I don't want to do it, but if you pull it, it'll start leaking latex, and it looks like milk, white milk. Let's see, there was a caterpillar on here earlier today. I don't know if I see it. You can see something's been eaten on these leaves. There it is. Yeah, there it is. So there is either a monarch butterfly or a viceroy butterfly. You can kind of tell the difference by the horns. I don't know off the top of my head the difference by the horns and the pattern. They all look very similar, but they have different horns, and they feast on, they eat on this plant. So probably be another month or so if this guy makes it before it's a butterfly. If not, there's several different broods. I'm really excited about getting these pods because what I have, oh buddy, oh no, I'm gonna plant a bunch of these. This whole bed is gonna be full of them for that reason. I like the butterflies. This is night blooming jasmine. It smells amazing. It only blooms at night. It's been blooming lately. Actually, this one's just about to be done blooming. It's really powerful. It's so strong you can get a headache just smelling it. But it's really good stuff, the night blooming jasmine. One of my favorite plants, because the smell is just so intoxicating. nothing quite like it. I mean, there are other jasmines, but just it's the strength and intensity of the night blooming jasmine that makes it great. So I've been working on the porch the last couple years. This year I painted most of it. I still need to do some more work on painting, but it needs a fresh white coat, and that's one of the things I've been doing this year. Now that it's cooler, I've already done most of it, but now that it's cooler, I've got a few other spots I'm going to do. So I've gotten most of the outside. Need to get up there. You can see that needs to be painted. I actually need a bigger ladder. And over there, other than that, the house is it's much better than it was. Down here we got some more turkey brown figs. Figs are really easy to start. They'll root right away. So I'll show you. These are probably 2 years old, most of them, except for this one. And just something I've been doing lately. There's a new LSU purple fig. I've got a mulberry tree, oak tree, a palm that I think is gonna make it. Here's the pomegranate tree I was talking about. There's another Violetta Bordeaux fig, and this is a sour orange that I rooted a year ago, and it's just now starting to look like it's going to make it into a tree. For comparison, this is key lime that I rooted just earlier this year, and it's growing way faster. But supposedly it doesn't have the disease resistance and that the sour orange does. I guess we're gonna find out. And well, that's kind of the tour of the yard and several of the projects I've got going on. I got a lot to do. It's a lot of work and not a lot gets done, but it keeps me entertained.